At 5 o'clock in the morning, 3 Westminster College vans loaded up and headed out toward Edisto Island, South Carolina. We traveled all day, excited for what lay ahead.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited! And now, yeah, that was about the extent of my excitement.
By mid-afternoon, we reached South Carolina. After stopping for a quick picture, we hit the road again. Although it started to rain, it did little to slow our progress or dampen our spirits.
I'm Joe Ligo here with Ryan Johnston. We're in the cargo van, which means it's just us 2 guys and a whole lot of luggage. Ryan, how long have we been on the road?
Well, Joe, we've been on the road now about 13 hours, started at 5 a.m. this morning, so it's been a pretty long day.
At 8:30 p.m., we arrived at the Edisto Island Presbyterian Church, our home for the week ahead. After setting up our inflatable mattresses and settling in, it was time to go to bed.
Okay, big day tomorrow. It's been fun. Long day, good night's sleep. See you later, sleep well, guys.
Perhaps it was a sign, as the rain we brought with us caused the normally dry island to spring to life again. We attended the Sunday morning service at the Presbyterian Church, a beautiful old building filled with ornate woodwork. The congregation shared communion with us. From there, we loaded up and headed over to the pastor's house to spend the afternoon. The 65-degree weather was nice compared to the surprise snowstorm our friends back home experienced. The pastor's son was kind enough to take us on a tour through the vast expanse of woods behind his house, filled with many trees and plants us northerners had never seen before. We spent the rest of our day with another Christian work group that came to the island, where we had the chance to ride bikes and row kayaks around the island, and some of us even saw the ocean for the first time in our lives. It was a great day to relax, but the real fun started the next day.
Okay, Joe, here we are. We're headed off to the first day on the work site.
We got to work as soon as possible, tearing the old shingles off the roof. Everyone used whatever tool they had to speed up the process. Soon, those of us on the ground had to start cleaning up after them. But we kept a smile on our faces as the pile continued to grow. Old rotten boards were cut out and new boards were cut to replace them, and some of the tree limbs that hung dangerously over the roof were cut down. Big changes were being made at the little church. By lunchtime, all the old shingles were removed and the wood was exposed. Speaking of lunch, the church ladies made us a very delicious meal.
This is what I imagine heaven looks like. So I'm very excited.
It was just cool to see that the church cares so much that we're here helping them out.
Repairs continued throughout the afternoon, interrupted only by a lizard. The drip edge was nailed on and the tar papering continued at a rapid pace. Everyone worked in teams and everyone had a purpose. Aside from the strong winds, we couldn't have asked for a better day. Soon, all the dropped nails were picked up and we began packing away our tools. We would return tomorrow to continue our progress.
Morning!
We began our second day with gusto, taking shingles to the roof. Sometimes 2 people to a bundle, other times 2 bundles to a person. The paint crew began scraping, and they repaired a hole caused by a very furry problem.
Squirrels. Squirrels! Coming out of the soffits.
Those on the roof got out their knives and began cutting shingles and threatening the cameraman.
I will cut you.
More tar paper was applied, holes were patched, and the old cross was taken down to be cleaned up and repainted.
Now I just gotta conquer my fear of the roof so I can go hang this up.
Everyone was busy doing something. As shingles hit the roof, the sound of nail guns filled the air. And the painters got down to business under the instruction of Westminster College Board of Trustees member Robin Gooch.
And now we're going to put a fresh, beautiful coat of paint on. We're excited.
They see me rolling, they hating.
The cross was beginning to look better already, but the roof had to be done before they could attach it. But first, a break for lunch. Tuesdays consisted of fried fish, green beans, and mixed rice. And that's where we met BJ, the shy 4-year-old great-grandson of the church secretary. It took a while, but eventually he was won over by the kind painters and decided to help us out with our work. While the atmosphere was full of the sound of hammers and saws, occasionally you might catch a little bit of music coming from the roof.
Hold on for one more day.
And Ryan Johnson plays a mean accompaniment on the crowbar. Although she's shorter than the dumpster, that doesn't stop Ashley from showing off her mad skills. And so the front of the church had been cleaned and painted, and all the tar paper had been applied. We only got a couple rows of shingles down, but we'd have more time to do that tomorrow. After all, it was only Tuesday. We got straight to the business on the third day because our afternoon was already booked.
Day 3 is always a fun day because we do a half day, then we play in the afternoon. But everybody's going to work really hard today. And
as the tide came in, shingles were measured and nailed, and the air compressor ran almost constantly.
As with any work site, there's always plenty of trash to be thrown out when you're making repairs. From shingles to tree limbs, and even the bathroom sink. It all goes in the dumpster.
The morning passed quickly, but we accomplished much. The new roof was finally taking shape. We also made sure that everyone had their turn to use the nail gun.
This better make primetime news tonight.
It was a morning full of dancing, hole patching, and window wiping.
And it just seems like we're already a family. Like everyone works so well together, everyone's so supportive of one another.
The church ladies provided us with a delicious meal of spaghetti and salad before we ran off to Magnolia Plantation. Near Charleston, South Carolina, Magnolia Plantation features several beautiful gardens full of interesting wildlife. We took a boat ride through an old rice paddy from before the Civil War. By the end of the day, we were ready to go to sleep too. And after a quick night walk on the beach, we did. We hoped to make day 4 our last one on the worksite, so everyone gave it their all. We sanded and prepped for more painting and measured for more shingles.
today we're going to get her done. Looks like we'll be able to finish up.
Rollers rolled, nailers nailed, and Jamie was never seen without a tape measure. Our roof crew had it down to a science. They began arguing over which side would get done first. Jim had to make a few more calls to the lumberyard before we could wrap up business, and Robin was kind enough to hold the ladder for a cameraman who kept getting on and off the roof. We replaced broken light bulbs and put on a second coat of paint, and we danced some more. Everyone was in a good mood on the last day. Things continued to move at a rapid pace as we painted the cross out front and put some of the final shingles on the roof. Soon we took a break for lunch, and this time the church ladies outdid themselves.
This is the fried chicken.
We feasted like kings on southern delicacies like fried chicken, Hoppin' John, and peach cobbler. And despite his shyness at first, BJ was more than happy to hang out with the work crew during lunch. According to Robin, we're a pretty fun group to hang out with.
The community of Christian kindness here has been, I think, the most wonderful part of my experience.
The ladies of the church say lunch is simply their way of thanking us for all the hard work we do.
This is such a treasure for us to have that roof done.
And with a few photographs and a round of applause, it was time to take a look at the new roof. The rocks on the new shingles glittered in the South Carolina afternoon sun. And our cross painter conquered her fear of heights and took to the roof to attach the finishing touch on the building. As we celebrated, we were joined by the overjoyed pastor of Bethlehem Church.
They have done something that I have longed for. And with God's guidance, His divine blessing, it happened.
Edisto is a magical place, filled with beautiful sights and kind people.
Why Edisto?
Because I grew up here. It's home.
Whether it was the trips to the Piggly Wiggly, the laid-back environment, the ocean views, the Spanish moss, or the sun setting over the salt marshes, all of us had something to remember Edisto by. And I can say in full confidence that I'm going to go back there someday.